Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live stream of the TCR Challenge Series. This is season 15 of Phoenix Sim Sport, and we have, I think, 13 drivers tonight for the opening round of the series at Mugello. We've just watched two scintillating races for the MX5 Cup on the same circuit. Let's hope the same can happen for the TCR series. As I need to get myself familiar with all of the names, especially the one that's on the screen right now. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but a quick Google search shows it might be Savix. But if you are not called Savix, please tell in the Discord server how to pronounce your name, because there's zero chance that I will be able to pronounce that just by looking at the Japanese letters. But anyway, he will be the first driver to set the flying lap in the qualifying session. It's a 10-minute qualifying session, so very, very short indeed. Drivers will have the chance to set about 3 to 4 flying laps. As Savix is about to come across a line to do a 1:57.122. That's our first lap on the board. We have Marcel who next up across the line. And his lap is invalid, I guess. That's why it's not popping up. We've got Carrara on out lap, Alessio. This thing is not updating, I think. Unless everybody is invalidating. Maybe they are invalidating because JB999BJ has just gone to the top of the leaderboard with a 1:56.026. Up to P3 goes Milos Mashko, 1.2 seconds off the pace. Panka53 is up next in this Hyundai livery, and he goes P4 with a 57.6. Jack has probably validated this lap. How about the injured Brian Garcia, still driving with a 40 back? He's obviously a little bit more off the pace, with Petralia falling really close behind him. Maverick is about to start his flying lap. Into turn 1, braking at about the 100-meter board, down 3 gears. And then full throttle towards the quick left-right chicane. And it's gone deep in turn 2. Has to blend out of the throttle at turn 3. Chooses to stay in 4th gear at turn 4. Now towards turn 6, Casanova corner, a very late downshift to 4th. That has compromised the line for Savelli. And Savix improves to a 1:57.097, but he stays P2 for now. So we've got a 1 second advantage as Maverick goes off the circuit. This lap will be invalid. Marcel goes up to P5 with his first effort on the board, a 1:57.6. Wow, a 1:55.8 from JB999BJ. He is absolutely smoking the field, although Tani Alessio does go less than 1 second slower than the poster currently. 7 tenths separating the top two. Everyone behind is at least a second down. This thing does work now, so we've got a walking leaderboard at the left-hand side of the screen. I'll probably use this one. But now I don't know who is doing what, which is not ideal, but that's okay. Let me turn off the in-game leaderboard. So JB999 is going out. Oh, what the hell happened there? That looks like netcode. That is very weird. Between Alessio and somebody else that I didn't catch. Let's go on board with Panka 53, tackling the Arrabbiata corners. Just having to lift and wait for the car to turn in. It's very painful. Can't go full throttle in these cars through the gorgeous Arrabbiata corner, cutting a lot of the grass on the inside of turn 11. Down towards turn 12, a lot of steering lock. Marcel Miko now improves up to P2, only 5 tenths of a second behind JB 999 BJ. Third place is now Sebascus. Let's go on board with Marcel. Can he challenge for pole position on his final attempt of the session? 2.5 tenths away in sector 1, so that's a pretty big gap to try to catch up. A lot of the track through turn 4 and 5. Up to 6 goes Jack. Because a 156.946. Peckham 53 does improve up to P5, 9 tenths of a second off the pace. So we've got 1.5 seconds covering the top 8 as Jack has decided to park it at turn 1. So his qualifying session is finished, and I don't know why he's just disappeared from the server, I guess. To join back in if he wants to participate in the race. And Jack does come back in, so that's all good. He should be able to keep his time, even though it's not on the leaderboard on the left. And it's now back up to 6, so his lap time is valid, as Marcel Miko now just has 1 corner remaining. Wait, have to be very patient to apply the throttle in the final corner. And up to the line, as Mugello gets up to P5 with a 156.644. Marcel Miko cannot improve his lap time. Can Sebascus do anything about it though? He needs to improve by 2 tenths of a second to snatch P2 away from Miko. And he does. He finds 3 tenths of a second. Up to second position goes Sebascus. We've got Tony Alessio pushing on. And JB 999 DJ needs to be out in the clear. I don't think anybody can challenge his lap time. As Penta 53 improves again, or does he? No, he's just parked it. Where has he parked it? On the entry of the pit lane. So not a lot of drivers still pushing on. We've got these 3, Petralia, Garcia and Alessio. And then the provisional pole sitter, which will become the actual pole sitter. He probably doesn't need to improve his time as Maverick moves up into P9. And he sets a 155.832. So his second fastest lap is only a hundredth slower than the actual pole lap time. So that is very fast. I think my connection to Alessio is not very good because it's drifting on my screen, and that should not happen on a TCR car. Petralia up to P7, so that pushes Mav back down to P10 as Alessio goes or stays P4. So that will be the end of qualifying sessions. Congratulations to JB for taking pole position in round 1 by 4 tenths of a second over Sebascus, who will start alongside him. We've got the double race winner from the MX5 series, Marcel Miko, starting from row 2 alongside Tani Alessio. Then it's Milos Mashko alongside Penka for row 3. Petralia and Jack on row 4. Savix and Maverick on row 5. With Michele Carrara, Brian Garcia and Magari Mori at the back of the grid. So, 1 30-minute race upon us. There shouldn't be any pit stops. Everybody should be on soft tires. I don't know, maybe somebody will choose something different, but who knows?
How many have I lost? $200. Okay. We're still rich.
Why did you lose
Ah,
$200?
you might win this race.
Track cuts
You'll-
are a bloody mess.
We all get kicked. Fuel.
I think 17 laps, I think, could be
Yep.
I'm using
the
50. It's like
could be the
40.
safe spot.
I'm just gonna hold the gas the whole time, so.
That'll do me. I'm gonna take an actual little click of
There's
rear
only
on the
soft
rule bar.
tires?
Yep.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
is
it's only
only
one tire.
Yeah.
But they last quite a while. I mean, my tire indicator's saying 28 laps before they go red on this track. Oh no.
Oh yeah, just be prepared for the slowest start you'll ever be in.
Well, that was drivers talking amongst themselves, so we know this race is probably going to be 17 laps as we look back from the pole sitter JB999BJ. He's got Sebescu alongside him, and it's a brilliant start from Marcel Miku. He's already alongside our pole sitter and passing our pole sitter. What a brilliant start from Marcel. He's jumped from P3 all the way up to P1. Oh, somebody's off. Who was that? That was Petralia! And he's completely lost the control of the car and hit Jack. I don't know what happened to make him go all the way to the right onto the grass, but he was completely, well, it was out of his control once he was on the grass. At least he only took one other driver with him, but that's very unfortunate for Jack and for Petralia, whatever happened to him that forced him onto the grass. And we got Marcel Miku into the lead of the race ahead of the pole sitter JB. We got Milos Mashko in P3 ahead of Sebescu, so Sebescu lost 2 positions as well. And then what a brilliant getaway from Savix. He started P9 if I'm not mistaken. He's up to P5. Maverick has had a moment. So he's going to drop back down to potentially P10 where he started. But the front 7 are kind of running away. They're separated by 3 seconds of a second, and then there's a 3-second gap between P7 and P8. Sebescu is looking very close to the back of Milos Mashko. Sebescu is probably faster given by the qualifying lap he did. Can he find a way through? Mashko already braking, huh? Oh, he's letting Sebescu go. That is very interesting. He's chosen to let Sebescu go in front of him, and there's a dive on the inside of Savix. Ooh, off goes Mashko, and off goes Sebescu. The driver that started second is around at the final corner. Still side by side, battling for third now is Alessio and Savix. And there's a tap, and he's round, he saved it. Who is that going to benefit him? No, he's not saved it. So all that means Mashko retains P3, Pankana up to P4, Savix in P5, and Alessio is still dropping, he's down to P8. He's dropped right in front of Jack, who got taken out at turn 1 by Petralia. What a dramatic start we have at Mugello, and Sebescu now passes Garcia, or trying to pass Garcia, side by side into turn 4. Sebescu cleanly goes around the outside and takes P10. He is going to be on a recovery mission. So a look at the positions gained and lost. Marcel Miku up 2, JB losing 1 after starting from pole. And we got this battle pack all gaining positions from the start. Mashko up 2, Penka up 2, Savix being the one of the most gainers, up 4 positions into P5, and this battling between Maverick and Alessio. Alessio trying to walk his way back up the field as well after momentarily taking P3 at the final corner of the last lap. He's now recovered back up to P7, the biggest loser of them all. Sebesco down 8 positions from P2 down to P10. Fastest lap of the race from our race leader Marcel Miku is a 156.0, and clearly JB and him are the 2 fastest drivers in the lead pack. A lot of the other winning pretenders have had issues, as Mashko successfully defends from Panka in turn 1. We've got battles side by side between Maverick and Jack. Jack trying to pass Maverick, and Maverick goes off. And that gives Jack the perfect opportunity to go up into P8. Maverick now has a charging Sebesco behind him. I still don't know what happened to Sebesco on the final corner of last lap. He had a moment or spun or something happened to Carrara. He's made an error. And he's lost P6 to Alessio. And now Jack is all over the back of him as I've hit the wrong key. And Jack is going to go to the inside of Arrabbiata 2 and makes the move. Jack up to P7, Carrara down to P8. He's gone for the switchback. But to no avail, unfortunately. So down to P8 is Carrara. He's now got Maverick and Sebesco behind him. Maverick goes wide. That will give Sebesco the run into Correntine corner. The 2 Hyundais go side by side. Sebesco around the outside of Maverick. He'll get the inside of Biondetti if he can hang in there, but he doesn't have enough of the overlap, so Maverick defends for now. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Marcel Miku has opened up the gap to 1.4 seconds over JB. He's at another 156.0. That's the fastest lap of the race. And JB is 0.3 of a second slower last lap. So the gap is now 1.4 seconds. Getting really close between these two. Sebesco to the outside of Maverick, who will brake later to turn 1. Maverick brakes earlier, but he has the inside line. Sebesco round the outside, takes P9 away from Maverick. Little bit wide goes Savix, but I don't think he touched grass or gravel, so didn't lose that much time. Well, Sebesco is now up to the back of Carrara. Should be an easy move. Indeed it is. Sebesco to the inside of the Correntine corner. And there's nothing Carrara can do being on the outside line. He can't turn in. So, Sebesco, after dropping down from P3 to P11, is back up to P8. Goes Carrara. Maverick might get a chance at turn 1, but I think he's just too far back, unfortunately. Still just under 7/10 of a second separating Penka and Savix. Penka is running wide, but he doesn't lose that much time. Maverick has now caught up to the back of Carrara, trying to use a different line. Look at better drive out of turn 3. Into turn 4, braking later. But there's no way through. It's all single file in these tight and twisty corners. Maverick gets a perfect round and to the inside of Casanova corner. Has he done it? Around the outside of Savelli, yes he has. Maverick up into P9. Sobesco meanwhile has caught up to the back of Jack. But he is 17 seconds behind the leader. He's 4 seconds behind P6, but Alessio is also very fast. So after passing Jack, Sobesco might have a more difficult time to catch up to the guys in front, because they are also very fast. Marcel Miko meanwhile has checked out at the front of the pack. He must love Mugello. After taking both victories in the MX5 Cup just 1.5 hours ago, he sets the fastest lap of the race and he's looking set to take 3 wins out of 3 tonight. That would be a massive achievement. Meanwhile, Sobesco is about to get past Jack into San Donato on the inside, no debate. But he does brake too deep, he braked way too late, and Jack is going to go ahead into turn 2. Jack cuts a lot of inside, they've been very polite to each other after the little contact at turn 1. Sobesco has blown his chance to make a clean move, and now he's getting held up in these corners. That's a very aggressive overtake. That's too aggressive in my opinion from Sobesco. He basically rammed into the side of Jack, and he has come up worse. And now Carrara to the inside of Sobesco, but he couldn't take advantage of Sobesco's mishap. Petralia, meanwhile, on the mouse and keyboard, has had further trouble at the back of the field. Maverick is off at Arrabbiata too. He was just catching up to Jack after his involvement with Sobesco. And now we are looking at a 4-way battle for the 7th position. Meanwhile, Savix has dropped back from the podium fight and he is dropping into the clutches of Alessio. Penka is still about 9/10 of a second behind Mashko, putting the pressure on the driver ahead. Finally, everybody is a bit separated, so I can rest my voice a little bit. It's being utterly chaotic covering all 3 races tonight. Let's go on board with Maverick. You can see him attacking Jack ahead and possibly defending Sobesco this lap. Because Sobesco clearly has the pace, but he has been hindered by 2 incidents so far this race, as Maverick goes slightly too wide at turn 3. Quick direction change in turn 4 and 5. Jack ahead was a bit loose there. Now into turn 6. Leaning on the car. Turn 7 of Savelli now into Arrabbiata 1. A huge lift in these front wheel drive cars. Arrabbiata 2, again a lift and trying to just get back to throttle as soon as possible. But both him and Jack made a mistake at Arrabbiata 2, which means the driver in the mirror is getting larger and larger. Sebastian catching back up to this group, but he's running out of time to catch the group ahead. If the pace stays as they are, the best Sebastian might be able to hope for his P7. Considering he started from P2, that is going to be a very dissatisfying result. Alessio, meanwhile, has now caught up to Savix, just 1 second separating P5 and P6. So that is also a battle that is worth keeping an eye on. Alessio is very fast, he's doing 156s still. The guys in front is doing 157s. And look at all the police drivers. Maverick, Sebastian, and Jack, they're all going very fast compared to the guys in P3, 4, and 5. Deep goes Jack, deep goes Maverick. The gaps keep climbing down between these three drivers. Will Maverick be able to attack first, or will he have to defend first? Look at the run that Sebastian has got. He's on his tail into turn 4, where Sebastian made the contact previously, and he thinks better of it this time. Maverick almost just drifting around turn 5. That's gonna kill his exit. But turn 6 is kind of a single line high-speed corner, so nothing Sebastian can do, but you can see he's carrying more speed, too much speed in fact, into Savelli corner. Dips the two wheels into the gravel. That's going to affect his line to Arrabbiata 1 and Arrabbiata 2. So Maverick is let off the hook for now. Meanwhile, we've got the battle between P5 and P6 going hot. Tani Alessio down the inside of the Correntile corner. Savis give him room. They're going to go side by side through Biondetti or not, because Alessio has made the move stick. Up to P5 goes Alessio. Back on board with Sebastian. Where can he find a way past the two drivers ahead? Maverick makes a mistake. He's run deep. And he's going to give Sebastian a perfect run towards San Donato. Fully in the slipstream, in the draft, Sebastian is going to pull out to the left. And they're going to go side by side down into San Donato. Who's going to brake later? Maverick brakes later on the inside, but he's going to miss the corner. Sebastian does the perfect cutback and up to P8 goes Sebastian. He's had to fight really hard for that position, but now he can focus his sights on Jack again. These two made contact at this exact corner a few laps ago. So will Jack still remember it? Will he be more aggressive trying to defend from Sebastian? Or can they keep it clean this time? Into Arrabbiata 1. Early on the power is Sebastian, but he's blocked into Arrabbiata 2. Little double break from Jack, and that's gonna give Sebastian the notification to go now, down the inside into Scaperia. And Sebastian has taken P7, 2 overtakes in 6 corners. He now has a 5-second gap to catch up to Savix, who's already dropped 3 seconds. Alessio, Savix must be overheating his left front tire. There's no way he's lost that much pace. His left front must be screaming. That's the only explanation for Savix's lack of pace. As JB finally does a 56.5. So he is back up to pace, but he's got a 3.7 second gap to Marcel Miko. That, however, does not feel very catchable, unfortunately. Pekka, meanwhile, still holding on to the back of Mashko. This podium battle is far from over. But they might have Alessio joining them I'm not sure Sebasco can still join this fight if he didn't have the contact with Jack. Maybe, just maybe, he'll have enough time. For now, it's a really tall order to try to catch up to these two guys. But it looks like Sebasco should be able to catch up to Savix, at least take a P6. Down into Scaparia. To the right, to the left of Pelagio, using all the road on the right. Uphill, then downhill into Correntile corner. Just try to be as early on throttle as possible. Try to carry the momentum through the hairpin and then fully on the throttle through beyond that chicane. Onto the Puccini corner. The final tricky hairpin. You have to brake earlier than you think here. And also arc the car in while braking. If you brake in a straight line, chances are that you might just run straight out of the road. .3 from the pair of these drivers, but look at Alessio of 156.7. He is coming. He's still got 7 laps to try to fight for a podium here. This has suddenly got a lot closer. Panka is now right behind Mashko. Perhaps feeling the pressure, perhaps tires starting to have a bit of wear. But Panka doesn't seem to have the chance to make the overtake, and that slide is going to cost him a couple of tenths. Just look at the mirror. Alessio is closing all the time. 1.3 seconds now the gap. Sebasco, meanwhile, is caught up to the back of Savix. It should be a pretty easy overtake considering the pace difference of the drivers. So we'll focus our sights, the battle for P3. Sebasco needs these 3 drivers to fight as hard as possible to have any chance of catching back up. The pace of the 2 leaders have dropped slightly, down to the 157s, due to the tyres wearing probably, as Alessio does another 156. He is the fastest driver currently on the circuit, alongside Sebasco. Sebasco was even faster that lap. But he doesn't have enough laps to try to go any higher than 6. He should be able to pass Savix with ease. He also needs to remind himself of not making contact again. Savix is weaving slightly. He didn't really have to defend that, so that school was pretty far away. Ooh, the braking difference is quite significant. Sebasco almost got caught out there. Had to brake earlier as well. He's got around, but there's no way through Arrabbiato, is there? Around the outside? No. Savix shuts the door. Arrabbiata 2. Sebasco can't get the overlap. Give Savix a tap. Now he can't overtake into this corner. Yeah, he brakes earlier. Give way to Savix after the tap. He can't immediately overtake the driver ahead. He can now. This is the next phase. And Sebasco dives to the inside of Correntile corner. And up to 6 goes Sebasco. Not without contact, but this time it's much cleaner than the incident with Jack, as Brian Garcia had spun out of Arabiata 2. This battle is brewing for the final 6.5 minutes. The front two are still separated by 3 seconds unless Marcel Nico makes a mistake. He should have 3 wins out of 3. But who is going to join Marcel and JB on the podium? Tani Alessio definitely the fastest of the 3, but he needs to overtake 2 cars in the final 4 laps. I think we'll do 16 instead of 17 laps, because we only have 6 minutes remaining. Panka really pushing the limit, going all the way to the red sausage curve on the left there at the exit of turn 3. Alessio taking a wider line through turn 5. That doesn't really gain him time, interestingly. He lost too much in turn 4. He does, however, get slightly closer through the fast corners of 6, 7, and then 8. You can see Panka is very fast through 6 and 7, but he struggles through 8 and 9. So Panka can get really close to Mashko at turn 7, but then he loses out in the Arabiata corners. And once again, a slide from Panka out of turn 11. 1 second separating 3 drivers. And I think, is that 3 manufacturers no less? Yes, Mashko is in a Cupra, Panka in the Honda, and Alessio in the Audi. Down into the final corner of Buccine. Hugging the inside curve, going to the full throttle. And it's a great run from Panka. He will get the draft because he's within 0.3 of a second of Mashko. This is the perfect opportunity to attack, but you have to be careful. If both of you draw too much into this attack, it will open the door up for Alessio. Panka goes to the outside. He brakes way too late. He's gonna go wide, and loses the opportunity to step onto the final place on the podium. And now it's a direct fight between Alessio and Mashko. Panka saw the opportunity for a great run coming out of the final corner, but he has thrown it all away at turn 1. San Donato corner claims another victim. Wide goes Mashko. Alessio sees blood. Alessio sees the opportunity of taking P3. He's got all the pace in the world. No way through in turn 6, but this looks like a done deal. Alessio looks much faster, and now with just 1 instead of 2 cars ahead of him, he has free range to choose whichever line he wants to take. Mashko is deep into Arabiata 2, and he puts a great defense into turn 10. The right-hander, can Alessio hang there? Yes, he can to the left-hander, but he has to brake earlier and get out of it. So a successful defense from Mashko, going all the way from left to right on the exit of Arabiata 2 corner. It's aggressive but legal defensive move, as off the circuit goes Magari Mori, the left car, stays out of the way of the battle. Well, very well done to him for not impacting this battle, which is going on in the final corner. Alessio dives the inside, parks it on the apex. We've got a drag race coming out of the final corner. Alessio will have the inside line of San Donato, but surely Mashko has the better drive out of the corner, but he doesn't. He's trying to tuck back in, but there's an overlap, so he can't tuck back in. He's trying to tuck back in and go to the inside, and it looks like Alessio is going to give Mashko the inside line. Will that be a mistake? Mashko dives the inside. Alessio goes for the cutback. Mashko tries to cut off the line. He can't. Alessio is already there, but he will have the outside of turn 2. Alessio needs to hang to get inside of turn 3, and move is complete. Tani Alessio passes Mashko up to P3. Mashko tries to respond, dives the inside of turn 4. He's trying to push the door open. It's not open, it has closed. A valiant effort from Mashko. He's still trying, but Alessio is unfazed by that. All of this means, look at Panka. He is backing this fight. He has driven himself backing this fight. What a brilliant battle between Milos Mashko and Tani Alessio. Now, can Alessio drive away from Mashko, or is he going to be caught up in this battle for the final lap of the race? The leaders have closed in. 2.4 seconds now separating Marcel Miku and JD 999, but that's still too large of a gap. Understeer, infinite understeer from Mashko. That's costing him 0.2 of a second, and now he needs to be looking behind, under pressure, and Sabix has spun. In turn 12, Correntine corner, and he has dropped down from P7 to P9. Up to P7 goes Jack, up to P8 goes Matt. They might have their own battle in the final lap of the race, which we are on, lap 16 of 16 for the opening round of TCR Challenge here at Mugello. You can see Alessio pulling away from Mashko, so he's probably got third place covered. Wide goes Mashko. Panka has 14 corners remaining to overtake. Where will he launch his attack? He tried it at turn 1 a couple of laps ago, and that has ended really poorly. He's not got that opportunity anymore. We've driven past turn 1 for the final time already. He has to be creative and find a different place to overtake Mashko up ahead. He needs to put pressure on the driver ahead, trying to make him go defensive, use a different line. But Mashko so far has it covered. Panka goes tighter through turn 6, gets a better run through turn 7, and into the Arabiata corners. This is going to be mighty close. Wide goes Panka, he has to brake. That's going to kill all of his momentum. All of the time he gains through turn 6 and turn 7 have been lost. And I think Mashko probably has this one covered. Or does he? Because he goes deep in turn 10. This is not over. Sliding goes Panka. He's driven all of the wheels off the cars right now. He's gonna get to the inside of Correntine corner, or does he? He doesn't. Mashko fends him off. Mashko doesn't go wide this time. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, Marcel Miku is going to win the opening round of TCR Challenge at Season 15 on Phoenix Simsport as he takes 3 wins out of 3 tonight. 2 MX5 races, 1 TCR race, domination from the Czech. Marcel Miku wins, Panka is to the inside of the left of Mashko. They go side by side toward the line. This is a drag race. Panka has got the run. Panka has taken it. There's nothing Mashko can do. 400ths of a second separating P4 and P5. Where is Maverick? He doesn't get the same run. So Jack holds on to P7. Maverick takes P8. We got JB 999 BJ after starting from pole position, finishing in second place. Tani Alessio making 2 brilliant moves. Well, one of them was gifted to him, the other was quite brilliant. And he finishes on the final step of the podium. Panka displacing Mashko on the final run to the line. Sabesco, after starting on P2, dropping down to P4, back up to P7, and had his crash down to P11. He eventually recovered up to P6. We got Jack and Maverick up in P7 and P8. Savix will finish P9. Incidentally, that's where he started somehow. Michele Carrara in P10, got Brian Garcia in P11, and Leila Patalia after that incident at the start of the race, which we will have a look now at the replay of what happened to Leila. Let's go on board with the purple car. So he gets a poor start, he immediately gets passed by Sabix, who's got a brilliant start. I should go off board here. There must be contact. You're going 4 wide into turn 1. That's why the guys on the left made contact. So then they all contributed up. Let to see who hit him. Probably better to go on this angle. So we have got Jack, Panka, and Alessio going 3 wide. And I mean, this is pretty much inevitable. I mean, how can you avoid this? There's nowhere Jack can go. He is to the most left of the circuit. It's just a matter of you can't go 3 or 4 wide rather, and they just veer into each other. So yeah. So unfortunately, then Battaglia comes back and takes out Jack. So that decision was very unfortunate. It's probably going to be a racing incident. I think it's just a case of 4 doesn't fit. What happened to Sebescu then? He was behind Mashko here. He wouldn't have moved because Mashko was braking into the final corner. So it's clear ahead of Mashko in the final corner. On the exit, he put a tire on the grass. So it's all of his undoing rather, that pushed him back down to P10. That is very unfortunate. But anyway, that's the end of the stream for TCR Challenge. We'll see you guys tomorrow for LMU and Sunday for the Formula Alpha series. Have a good night. Bye.